Start recording. Good afternoon once again, friends. I'm back now with research process. Okay, don't say I didn't change the shirt. The same day. Yeah. Okay, so having introduced research, now let's look at the research process. Yeah, and we are saying this consists of series of actions or steps. For this, I will be a bit slow. Yeah, it consists of series of actions or steps necessary to effectively carry out research, and the desired sequencing of these steps. So it consists of a number of closely related activities, and we are going to look through these. So we're going to look at those series of actions or steps which are vital if you're to do an effective inquiry. If you're to do a successful primary research, there's some steps or actions you have to follow, and those are the ones we are going to go through. Okay, so these are highlighted here: defining the problem, reviewing the literature, formulating a hypothesis, preparing the research design, determining the sample design, collecting data, execution of the project, analyzing the data, hypothesis testing, generalization and interpretation, prepare the report or presentation, and draw figures. So these are the steps follow all the action you go through when you're carrying out research. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to go through each of these steps one by one. Yeah, we should note that these activities overlap continuously rather than a full strictly prescribed. Okay, so you find that they kind of overlap. And we are saying at times the first step determines the nature of the last step to be undertaken. So you should have in mind the fact that these at times overlap. So the first step is formulating the research problem. This has to be formulating the research problem, not just formulating the research process, formulating the research problem. So a research problem is that unknown to be explained. Now, is that something which is disturbing you? That's something which have made you fail to have sleep. Something which draws or takes you into books, or makes you get your laptop, get money, and you invest in research. That's unknown, if you have to explain. For instance, the unknown would be whether attending classes has any impact on you. Yes. It could be that it's disturbing you. It's disturbing you. You really need to find out. Okay. The discrepancy could be, it could be whether fraud has an effect on service delivery of banks. Whether fraud has an effect on the performance of banks. That could be the discrepancy which draws you into carrying out research. The unknown, that's something which you need explanation. So you should know that problem definition provides the direction, contour, and framework on which the entire process. So after defining your problem, it serves as the basis for what you're going to do next. So meaning you can't carry out research without a problem. Just, you need a problem which will give you direction. So a research study should have a problem as its research. So we're talking now, whenever you see a topic, let it connect to the research problem. So a study should have a problem as its topic. And this enables you as a researcher to find path, or to look for gaps in knowledge, identify for inconsistencies and contradictions. So your research problem will serve as your topic. Okay? Excuse me. So guideline for choice identification or guidelines for problem identification. So if you're choosing a topic, there's some guidelines you have to go through. Yeah, and then these are the guidelines to go through when we are choosing a topic. Okay, just a minute. Yes, sir. Yeah. Very fast, sir. Hard, sir. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's continue. So the following guidelines are helpful in choice of a topic. The first is a high degree of personal interest. When you're choosing a topic or when you're choosing a problem, I know you could be having several of problems which come into your mind or several topics, but please pick or choose the one for which you have interest. Okay? Don't do a topic on inflation or on money and banking when you're not interested in that area. Okay? However much you could be seeing a problem in that area, but if you're not that much interested, please don't go or don't venture into it. Why? Because research takes some time. There are times you'll be there and you feel you have little interest in the study. At times you feel like running away. You feel like leaving the research paper. But if you have interest in that particular area, you always have a reason to push on. So please, as you're coming up with a topic, let it be in the area you're interested in. I know by now there are some areas, what are those areas you're interested in? There are some areas, maybe you find fun in those areas. Let your topic or let your research come from those areas. Then someone will be like, but if I'm not seeing a problem in those areas, we'll see. Our next step will be reviewing literature. So if you, anyway, we'll talk about that. I'll talk about it in the next slide. So this such as capacity and expertise to handle the topic. I've told you you have interest, but what if you have interest but you don't have capacity? Then you leave the area still. So you should have the capacity and expertise to handle the topic. Why? You can't give a clear judgment or you can't give a clear argument, discussion, etc. when you don't fully knowledgeable about the area. So it's better if you have some level of expertise in that area. And then the possibility of getting the required information. As you're picking a topic, make sure that you can get the information. Recall, it's the information we use to draw conclusions and answer our research questions and objectives. You need information, you don't go out to people and they give you information. If you find that it's hard or it will be hard for you to get the information, please don't take that topic. Don't leave that area. Okay? I could be interested in studying about maybe broadly how it feels when a person dies. How does it feel? You know, I could be studying, but can I get the information to get answers to that question? You'll find that it's hard to get trusted information about death, because the best information will be from a person who has died. But can you? And then someone will say there are those who die and come back. How sure is that they had died? What if they had overslept? So as researchers, we may not trust the information from those people. So that wouldn't be a good topic. For however much you could be interested in death things, you could be having expertise in death related elements. Yeah, but you may find that it's hard for you to get the required information. The other topic could be the level of democracy in heaven. Wondering, this God, democracy in heaven. I need to find out who's going to give you information, and how are you going to draw those conclusions. You can't. So at times you could be interested in the area, you have expertise in the area, but you would get the required information. So in that case, take the area. So the other issues, geographical accessibility, language barrier, time etc. Those are some other issues you can put into consideration. Yeah, you want to choose a topic in a war zone area, you'll be able to access that, you know. So it would mean that probably you choose a different case. Okay, let's move on. Extensive literature survey. Extensive literature survey. Okay. So once the problem is formulated, a brief summary of it should be written down. At this juncture, the research should undertake extensive literature survey connected with the literature. Involves reading what other people have about the phenomenon. Yeah, we won't tell us that you're the first person, the only person to have written about something. There are other people who have done the same. Probably they've done it in different areas, and you're doing it from different area. But when you read what they have, it can guide you. So literature is very, very vital. It does a lot of things. It helps you to improve on your topic, to rethink your methods, a number of things. Yeah, I repeat, literature is reading about what others have written. Okay? About the same. Probably my topic was effect of corporate social responsibility on the performance of, let's say, non-government organizations, on performance of an organization. And I take a case of UCU. You may find that someone did the same, did a study on corporate social responsibility and performance in Kenya, in Rwanda. You know, so if you read their work, it can help you sharpen you, it can help you to achieve a number of things. Okay, and the literature we review will be from reports, books, journals, articles. Okay. Yeah, but of course there are some sources we don't trust, like Wikipedia. Literature from Wikipedia, you know, it doesn't count. Okay. And then development of working hypothesis. Developing of working hypothesis. Recall, a hypothesis is a tentative assumption made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. You have a tentative thinking about the phenomenon. That's the hypothesis. You could have, there is the common hypothesis we have in social life that short people, of course I'm short, and that short people are quarrelsome. That's a hypothesis. It's an assumption. You can go on and confirm, really, are short people quarrelsome? No, no. Please, if you're short, don't say I'm talking about you. I'm talking about myself and my friend. I have a friend who is short. Okay, who is not short, but who is not tall? Yeah, I have a friend who is not tall. And so there are some saying that short people, they are quarrelsome. They want to, you know. That's an hypothesis. You can go on and test and confirm whether it's true that indeed you find that a person who goes up the roof is more quarrelsome than the one who goes up the ground. Okay? So that's a hypothesis. So I could have, like, for the example given earlier of corporate social responsibility and performance of organization, my tentative guess could be that corporate social responsibility does not have any impact on the performance. That's a guess. So when you do research, you can confirm that. You either accept it or refute it. Okay. So the role of hypothesis to guide the researcher by delimiting the area of research and keep him on the right track. You have something you're following. Given an hypothesis. Working hypothesis arises as a result of prior thinking about a subject's examination of the available data and material. Recall, a hypothesis is a tentative guess about a phenomenon which which requires proof or testing to confirm whether it's true or it's false. So we'll see that we have several types of hypotheses. We have the null hypothesis, we have the alternative hypothesis. Okay. Let's move on. The other thing is development of I think this is repeated. Oh, I went backwards. Preparing a research design. Preparing a research design. Preparing a research. Research design is the plan, structure, and strategy for investigation. It considers the methods for data collection, analysis, and measurement of data. And design is the basic plan which guides the investigation exercise. So research design is like a blueprint, a plan on how basically you're going to deal with your data, the methods you're going to use to collect it, analyze, and measure it, how big the population will be, the sample you will take, how you will deal with the data quality, and so on and so forth. You put up a plan. I think that's how you're going to deal with all those elements as you carry out your investigation. Determine and solve a research design. So there are several research designs. Like we'll see, we'll have a bigger topic on research designs. But we can briefly talk about what determines a research design a person takes. One, the degree to which the research problem has been handled. Okay. It determines the design choice. You'll find that when you read more, most of these research designs are related to the research types. We will find a descriptive research design. So you'll find that most of these research designs are connected to the types of research. You'll find a correlational research design, and recall you have a correlational research as a type. So most of these, so when you find that while reading, don't be confused. Don't be confused. The type of research often determines the design you're going to use. The type of research determines the methods or the research design you're going to use. The method of data collection you're going to use, the purpose of the study, so here let me talk about which are the top imperative cases which are qualitative and statistical. And the other thing we need to know is your research design will depend on the approach you're taking. We have two broader approaches to research. Qualitative or quantitative. Those are the two broader. We have qualitative or quantitative approach. You can have the qualitative or a quantitative approach. I repeat, quantitative, you're going to use numerical data. Qualitative is the opposite. You won't use numerical data. You're going to use word expressions, talk about feelings, etc. So you find that there's different design for qualitative study, there's different design for quantitative study. We'll talk about this in the future. For now, I won't go deeper in them. It will be too early, they're still young. Yeah. And then determining the sample design. Sorry about that. This computer, yeah, but you will get clear and better slides. Actually, you already have them. And determining the sample design. Okay, so the last step is determining the sample design. How you're going to do a sampling, how big the sample is going to be. Okay, recall we need information, and we get information from elements or from people. But you find that at times we are overwhelmed. The population is too huge for us to handle. Okay, yeah, the population is a collection of elements which have something in common. Yeah, for instance, a group of BCC students. Yeah, maybe a group of BCC second year. That's the population. Why? Those elements have something in common. They are all BBC students, and then third year. So when you put all of them together, you come up with population. At times you may find, assuming they are over 1,500, they're over 1,000. You can't get information from all of them. You could, but at times you can be constrained financially and time-wise. So what you do is you pick part of that population, represent a whole, and that's what we call sample. And then use a simple example, because I know we all cook, we all eat. For those who cook, you sample every day. You sample every day. Okay? When you want to see if you put enough, let me use whether the meat is ready. When you want to find out whether the meat is ready, you don't eat the entire saucepan. You pick parts. Yeah? For men, we get one piece, and we draw conclusion that, hey, this meat is ready. For ladies, we often take 4 or 3. So the little meat you've picked will help you to draw conclusion in the entire saucepan. That's a sample. This out together. That's a sample. So a sample is part of a whole, part of the population, for which, if studied, it enables us to draw a conclusion on the entire population. Okay, let me go back to my BCC class. You are 100. I don't have time to look at all of you, or to get information from all of you. I use a method. There are several methods to use. There is a formula by Yaman which can help us to determine the sample size. The sample size is how big the sample should be. Yeah? I'm picking parts from the population, and that part is a sample. But it's also important to know how big that part should be. If you're 100, yeah, should the part be 10? Should it be 20? Should it be 40? There are formulas which guide on that. Yeah, but for a test of 100, the sample will be 80. Meaning, if you're 100, I should take 80. If you use tables. If you're 1,500, the sample will be around 310. Okay. Meaning, if you're 1,500 in class, the part I'm picking from you should be 310. Meaning, I need 310 students from the entire class of 1,500. And then the question comes in, how do you get the 310 from 1,500? So that takes us to the sampling techniques. The methods you use to sample to pick out the elements to be part of our sample. Altogether, you're 1,500, I need 310. I can use some techniques to pick out the elements to be part of my 310. So we'll see that there are 2 broader sampling techniques we can use. We have the probability sampling techniques and the non-probability sampling techniques. The probability sampling techniques are those techniques which give every element a chance to be selected. Okay? Probability techniques give every person a chance to be selected. So if you want 1,500 in class, with probability sampling techniques, each of you will have the chance to be part of my sample out together. And there are several. We have simple random, cluster, stratified, systematic. I'll talk about maybe 2 of them. static. Let me start with simple random because it's the commonest. With the simple random, every element has an equal chance to be selected. I'm using a class of BCC which has 1,500 students. I need to pick 310 from that class to study or to get information from, and I don't compare. If I use simple random, each of the BCC student, each of the 1,500 will have an equal chance to be selected. Not all probability techniques give an equal chance. It's only simple random which gives an equal chance. And how do we do it? Yeah, I can write down all of you, all the 1,500. I put on the same size papers. I fold them in the same way. I put in a basket. You know, I shake them. Madam, shaking. What can we use? If I put papers in a basket, shaking, there's another better word. You know, shaking. Yeah, but there's a better English word you can use, not shaking. Yeah. So use that English word. So I mix them and then I close my eyes and I choose. So that will have given an equal chance to each and every element to be selected. Stratified, at times you have stratas or groupings in the population, and I want each of those groups to be represented. Then I use stratified random sampling. The groups could be gender. I have male and female. And I want each of those groups to be represented. And so I get to know how many are male in the population and how many are female in the population. To be fair, the percentage has to be the same altogether. If the male constitutes 50% or 60% of the population, then they should constitute 60% of the sample size. Okay, so the non-probability techniques are those whereby not all elements have a chance to be selected. With non-probability, not all elements have a chance. Okay, so they are biased, they deny some elements a chance to be selected. One I can talk about is snowballing as a non-probability technique. With the snowballing, one element gives it to the other. That's snowballing. Yeah, you get a chance of one element, and that will lead you to the other. Yeah. With snowballing, we use snowballing whereby you don't have a sampling frame, you don't have the list of elements in the population. Assuming I didn't know of, I don't know anyone in BBA. Or I don't have a list of all the BCC students, BBC students. I can use snowballing. I get one student and that one will leave it there. But we use it mainly, of course, for a class, and most chances are that you have a list. So that one you may not need to use it. But at times you could be having a study, maybe you're looking at what causes people to go to the streets to start selling what God gave them for free. Prostitution. It's hard to get prostitutes. Yeah? People fear to declare, but probably they sell what God gave them for free. So in this case, if I get the chance of one prostitute, after getting information from that person, I can ask her, who do you usually go with to work? And then she will say, I go with Nabagulani. Okay. So I study Nabagulani. After studying Nabagulani, I ask, who do you usually go with to work? And then Nabagulani will say, I go with Narugwiza. You know? So it's referral. One element will refer to the other, and so on and so. But even the police uses this method a lot when they get a thief. So if we steal together, when they get you, chances are that they will get you. After 2 slaps, you start to say, talking. You say, I steal with Kiagulani. Okay, that is snowballing. One element leads you to. The last step is data collection or collecting data. Okay, we have 2 types of data, real types of data. We have primary and secondary. But the primary data is that data you're collecting for the very first time. First-hand information. You're getting it from the source. I get my questionnaires, I go to the BBC class, I get information from first-hand information. That's primary data. Whereas secondary data, I collect data I use information which has already been collected. Okay. Assuming Mr. Aston had already collected data from the BBC student, and he has it. So if I use the information he has already collected, that will be secondary data. I'm not collecting that data for the very first time. I'm using data that has already been collected. And in Uganda, we can get secondary data from there. Some sources we can trust, like UBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. They have all sorts of data on anything you want. Yeah, data on most of the things. Yeah. But of course, there could be some studies like on you could be interested in what makes people shout a lot during lunch hour. Yeah. Where I am, it's lunchtime, but people are over shouting. I could be interested in that study. You may find that it will be hard for you to get secondary data, but you need to go and get after information, first-hand information. That's primary data. Then the other step is you execution of the project. This is an important step in the research. Execute. You carry out the entire. You go to the field, you collect data. You put in practice what you said you will do. Okay. Sorry about my slides. This computer I'm using trouble. Now it was taking me back, but it's okay. I'll get back where I was. Analysis of data, you get clear PowerPoint, don't worry. So after getting the information, it doesn't stop at that. After collecting data, I need to make sense out of it. Okay, I need to make sense out of it. I can only make sense out of it by analyzing it. So if I have my questionnaires which have been filled, it doesn't stop at that. I have to make sense out of that to know, to have trends, to measure relationships, and so on and so forth. Okay. So for quantitative data, you can analyze it using tools like SPSS, Stata. Those are the general ones, the major ones we use. And please, I'll ask you to try and make yourself familiar with any of those tools. When you get time, I'll teach you. I'll take you through maybe Stata or SPSS when you get time. But in case you don't get time, please, there are always trainings on those analysis tools. I always attend the training, but I'll try as much as I can, at least to take you through SPSS, how we can analyze, make sense out of our information we've collected. Okay. For instance, if you want to find out how many people said something, use a tool and it will run for you the data new. So for the qualitative data, there are also tools which are used nowadays like Atlas, Vivo. Yeah, but before, people mainly used content analysis, mathematical analysis, whereby they come up with common things or with things. Others just present quotations, direct quotation that they make. Use hypothesis testing is another step here. Recall we set our hypothesis. Now we have to test that hypothesis. Okay. We want to see whether what we think is right. So there are tools you use to test the hypothesis. You can't test the hypothesis by mere looking at the data. You have to run some tests, like the chi-square test, F-test. When you get time, you go through those tests. Then generalization and interpretation. After you have to interpret, find what do they mean. Okay? Do they make any sense? What did other people say? That's the discussion bit. So you interpret and then after you generalize. So I interpret my findings on the 310 basis students I've selected, and after I will generalize on the entire class. Generalization means if I find that the 310, from the 310 that attending classes has a positive relationship on performance, by generalizing I will conclude that all the BBC students said, all that are called the BBC students attending classes has a positive relationship with performance. That's generalization. I move or I use what I found from the 310 or from the part and I make it conflict with my class. If I find from 0 and 10 that attending classes has no relationship with performance, then I will generalize and I will say among the BBC students, attending classes has no relationship with performance. You prepare a report, all the things you put together, all these parts into a document which you can afterwards disseminate or share out with the key stakeholders. But for our academic staff, for our academic research, after you give your supervisor the text to the library or the upload, but for the action research or for the applied research, you prepare a report, you disseminate those who are going to practically use those findings. Thank you very much.